Hello, everyone. Welcome to our week. Um, my name is Judith, and I am your spiritual psychologist. So, today we're going to talk about Satan and the three levels of hell. Satan and the three levels of hell. Um, why am I bringing this about Satan? It's just to show us the misconception about Satan. Okay? So, it does not matter the fall, you can rise again. So, in this discussion, we're going to look at who is Satan, why is he in hell, and what are the three levels of hell, and how can you get out of this hell so as to be the person that you desire to be. So we're going to look at all of that. Um, my purpose here is to decode those religious texts and concepts that have kept um, pretty much part of the world, the whole world in bondage. And in this 2025, we see how that is taking a different turn where people are waking up and waking up to themselves, to know their self worth, and some are waking up to their spirituality. So, yes, last week we talked about ego, you know, meeting the spirit, how your ego meets your spirit or embraces your spirit. So, Satanism that we have heard and be taught about um, in the past, in our religions, even in our communities, that Satan is this, um, destructive, wicked creature that comes to destroy, to kill, and deceive people. And today, when we look at all of that myth that we're going to decipher today, we see that that has kept us and a lot of people in fear. So they are unable to make decisions. They are unable to um, you know, value themselves and even value the things that they have, that nature has provided for them, because of this, concept of fear that was instilled in us from the time we were born into this planet Earth. So, Satan, who is Satan? When you talk of Satan, people always think of the way the artist has painted it, or the psychologists or the religious people, how they have um, painted or portrayed Satan. You look at it as all these negative things that are attributed to Satan. And because of that, they say what you believe, you energize it. What you believe, you energize that thing. So because the belief has been that Satan has been a very bad character that makes or influence people, control people, to do the wrong things. And we are looking for this Satan everywhere. We can't find Satan. People are expecting that Satan will show up even in the churches where they do deliverance ministry. They will think that, oh, Satan is going to manifest like this red um, entity that has a pitchfork coming to kill or to do all those things and all of that. But they don't see none of that. What they see is a human being manifesting. You see that? It's a human being manifesting. So, what is Satan? Who is Satan? It's a concept, right? It's a concept. But how you take that concept is how it's going to influence or control your life. So, Satan is all about our morality. Hmm? It's all about our morality. How your sorry. Sorry about that. How your morality evolves into actions and controls and influence your behavior, because there is a beginning point. There is a beginning point to how people act before we see us carrying out any action out there. It started somewhere, and some force is there that propels that idea to manifestation. And that force is what I've been talking about, that they call consciousness. Consciousness is made up of four aspects: truth, conscience, righteousness, and justice. So, who controls the truth? Who controls the conscience? Who controls your righteousness, your ability or quality to do right? Who controls justice? It is this same force, that one force. So Satan is that place of truth. And why did the artists or the philosophers and all of these uh, 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 psychologists and religious people portray Satan as a negative influence? Is because we get trapped in that place of truth. It is the human aspect of us. Satan, in metaphysics or esoteric teaching, Satan represents the descent, where you descend, your spirit self descended into this human form and is living in this human body and in this space called earth to experience all the material things that will make you live a fulfilled life here on earth. So that is Satan. If you go to Christianity, they told you how Satan was cast from heaven and he fell like a lightning and all of that stuff. It's because it is about truth. How you get and process your information, the knowledge that you get, that you receive about yourself, about things. How you process that thing. You can process it in a wrong way or you can process it in the right way. So if you are processing information in the wrong way, and then that's where that energy will attract all the negative things and events in your life. That is where they turn this name of Satan now to be a bad influence, a negative energy, a negative thought, because you are not using the energy in the right way. But that was your beginning, where you have to transcend all the difficulty, transcend all the lack, the fear, and everything, your limitations. That's where you were supposed to transcend and move to the next level of your godhood or divinity. But what happened? Many have been trapped in that place of difficulty, lack, and fear and survival. So it has become a survival mentality. So that's where Satan is mostly projected. You see that? So it is about your morality. So there are people who don't even have no good morals. We see them today. They don't care about anybody. And all they do is their own personal interest, their own ego, and all of that. And what we see out there is all the negative things and all the chaotic things that they cause toxic behavior because of what? You started with a wrong moral, no virtue, you are not respecting, no truth, nothing. So that's how you have ended up. Okay, give me 1 second, let me share. I almost forgot there. Um, okay. So Satan is not a bad thing, but we, because we don't understand esoteric teaching or knowledge, um, we tend to misinterpret those names and titles of things. Okay, so Satan means the descent. You have descended into your human form, this form that controls all the materialistic things that we see. So how do you deal with this materialism around you? How do you handle that? If you can handle it without twisting the truth or distorting the truth, then you will rise to the next level of your spirituality. But if you are there trying to hold on to everything, grabbing this and holding on to that, controlling people, deceiving this, coming up with lies and manipulation, then you become that Satan. Because now you cannot ascend. You are trapped there in that place. So, Satan means the descent, the fall in human realm, materialism, and the human will. Esoterically, Satan represents your lower self or the human self that is trapped in materialism. Not that we are not supposed to have wealth or to enjoy wealth and good living. No, that is not the point. But when these things become so, that they suppress your own truth, they suppress your morality, that these things now they are the ones controlling you instead of you controlling them. That's why it becomes a problem. And we see that today, where nations are trying to control other nations because of things and these resources. Huh? So that now is what? Satanism, because they are busy coming up with strategies and all of those things to how to keep you ignorant and keep you bound in that place where you cannot do anything. So they continue to take your resources, they continue to dump all their agendas and everything on you. Satan is an aspect of the human consciousness, just like I've said about divine consciousness. So there is the human consciousness and there is the divine consciousness, because you need to really transcend from your human consciousness to your divine consciousness. That's where you become as God, you become sovereign, you become independent, that you are in charge of your own life, your thoughts, you know when and what to process in your mind. You don't just let things come out and then when there are consequences, you want to go and bend and twist the law. No, you know what you want, because you have known yourself, you understood yourself, you value yourself, your dignity, your self-esteem, all of that. So you don't want anything to rob that image in the mud, right? So Satan now rules over truth. I've shown us these four aspects of spirituality or consciousness: truth, conscience, righteousness, and justice. So, who rules truth is Satan. And I'm going to show you when I did numerology. Numerology is what? The study of numbers, that you use numbers and ascribe them to letters, and then you find meaning, spiritual meaning to those letters or names or titles, anything that you want, even your own name. If you want to know your purpose here on earth, your path, you can do numerology on your name, and you will find the meaning of your life, what you are supposed to do. The numbers don't lie. They don't lie. So let's take a look on the numerology that I did on Satan. The name Satan. Look at that. So in numerology, the numbers range from 1 to 9. So your answers, they have to range from, all single digits, 1 to 9. So if you have an answer that is above 9, say 10, you continue to add until you come down to a single digit. So not 9 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. So when I did numerology on Satan, you see that S is number 19, A is 1, T is number 20, A is 1, and N is number 14. So you spread it out and you add, and the answer came to 19. So in numerology, you continue to add. 1 plus 9 is equals to 10. 10 again is a double digit. So you continue to add. 1 plus 0 is just 1. So the answer there is 1. So who is Satan? 1 is what? 1 is wholeness. 1 is the beginning. 1 is the beginning of everything, right? So who is there in the beginning? Truth. Truth, conscience, righteousness, and justice. So who is Satan? Satan is an aspect of your truth. But when you distort that truth, that's where you see religion and all of these artists and philosophers, they portray now Satan as a negative entity. But Satan was supposed to be the truth, the beginning of everything. That's why when in Christianity it said they fall and they casted down into hell. Hell is what? They also depicted hell as a place where fire burns and souls are there who are going through suffering and all of that. So hell again is a mental aspect. That aspect of your mind where your thoughts are evolving, but you get trapped when they become negative. And so when they become negative, what happens? You suffer, right? If they give you wrong information, like in Amazonia, that we're giving the wrong information about our own history, about our existence, cohabitation with the La Republique. We were given all the wrong information, and we have suffered for these 60 years plus. And now that we have come to know the truth, and we say, hell no, we don't want that hell again, because that was a negative concept that they experimented on us. We don't want that. So hell is the place where you find this the human suffering or human aspect of materialism, how you use those things and events in people, it makes you that you are going to ascend or you stay there in hell. Huh? I hope we are getting this. Yeah, so we have seen the numerology on Satan. So in entertainment industry, you see that they paint Satan as red with these two horns, huh? With a pitchfork. Okay, I'm going to decode that now. Let's look at that. I'm going to show you in this picture here so you can see what I'm saying. So can you see that? Huh? Yes. So that is Satan, that we grew up seeing Satan like that, holding that pitchfork, two horns on the head and a long tail. Do you see that? But now, this is what the pitchfork there. When you look at that pitchfork in Christianity, you look at the cross. Huh? You look at the cross in Christianity. Christianity. The cross and this pitchfork, are they not the same? This looks like a broken cross, right? Let me get another image. Yeah. Okay, see that? See? That looks like a broken cross. It has all four cardinal points, right? But now, because this, the way it is designed, the artist made it to look like, oh, this is a bad thing. But then, that symbolizes your consciousness, the divine consciousness we're talking about. And Satan there holding the end of that fork, that pitchfork, right here. That's the beginning, right? Symbolizes truth. Huh? Symbolizes truth. And then the three, look at that carefully. I want us to dispel this false narrative about Satan, because we have to kick out this illusion and false narrative so we can move to our state of spirituality. We can evolve to that place of truth, conscience, righteousness, and justice, because these are some of the beliefs that are holding us, and we are so afraid. And some entities, those rulers of the world, who took these kind of images and make it as if they are now the ones who control the earth and instilling fear in people's mind. There is nothing to be afraid. Look at that. Okay, see, this is the pitchfork. Huh? You see that the end here, which is the beginning, is the truth. And this other end of the beginning, the end here, up there, it's projected further than the other two. Huh? So this one represents what? Justice. On the left side is what? Righteousness. On your right side is conscience. So that is Satan, that has been portrayed from time immemorial as the bad guy who does all the bad things. But today we don't see this physical Satan. We see humans, huh? Satan in human forms that have distorted the truth. They are distorting everything, manipulating people, bringing up their own agenda and their own system to control humanity. That is the Satan. And then the two ears there, those two horns, huh? Those two horns, they represent what? They represent understanding. It's a mental process. It's like the door that opens your mind's eye. When you start to see clearly, you start to understand things, you have to start to reason and know that the truth is there to bring clarity. The facts are before you, the evidence are before you, and then it is up to you now to discern. So those two horns on the image of Satan there, it represents your understanding. It represents your understanding, how you understand things. Whether you are a leader in a country like Africa that have been manipulated and subjugated for centuries, because they look at you like you don't have understanding, you lack understanding. But when you start getting an understanding of who you are and start to see things clearly, you start to ask the right questions, because that's where you're going to discern what is good and what is bad. So you don't accept anything that they bring to you in the name of handouts in your countries. You have to go and look at the things, look at the contract, look at the idea or the concept, so you can take a proper look. If you don't have president, that's why you have different ministers, and all of that is for them to have people who know what they are doing. So if you don't know what you are doing, you will be deceived, you'll be manipulated, and you'll be lied upon because you doubt yourself. Okay, so you see, all of this is just to create fear in the believers, those who believe that there is a Satan. It is just to create fear to you, in you. Huh? Give me 1 second. Yes, it is just to create fear in you, and you start living, because what happens, that energy that was supposed to evolve, to influence your thought process, that energy now is being used for all the negative things. And so you get trapped there, and what the energy does, because the energy has turned to negative things, it attracts negative people and all the negative events in your life. So we have seen all of those. So why is Satan painted red? Satan is painted red there. Even in your religious books, they talk about him being red and being in the hell fire. Fire is a symbol of redness, right? But fire there is a place of creation, right? You want to cook a good food, you put it in the fire, where all the juice, all the nutrients will be released and all of that, so you enjoy that food. When you want to mold things, huh? You see, you have to take your time. So fire there is that place of creation, the place of creation that purifies things, that molds things. Huh? That's why they use like gold. To purify gold, it has to go through that process. There's a certain a temperature that is required of the fire to melt that gold to its purest form. So fire there was not a bad thing, that oh hell and all of that. So when they will continue to preach this hell in you, hell is a mental state, a mental state, a mental experience that shows up in your own reality. That is hell. If you are thinking negative, then you'll see that negative thoughts and all of that ideas that you have, it will manifest in your reality. If they give you all the wrong information, that thing is going to manifest in your reality, like what we have seen in Amazonia and all other African countries that were given the wrong information. How could you imagine that a people who already existed by themselves, who ruled themselves, and then somebody came from outside and tell them, oh, you people, we need to divide you here, we need to do this, we need to do all of that stuff. That is now the Satan in that worldly perspective. That is the Satan who comes to divide and conquer and control people. That is the Satan. Huh? So, when you look at this hell, the fire, and all of that, it is just your human self. How you go through challenges in life, how you go through struggles on how to survive. And that's where we find this survival mode, the survival mindset, that so many people have been trapped in that survival mindset because it's a place of where people are trying to survive. Oh, there are those who are people pleasers. There are those who, they think that they are not worthy enough to do anything, so they have to look for validation from outside. And that is what has been going on from time immemorial, that people are always being controlled. That's why they continue to preach that Satan, and they tell you, oh, Satan did this, oh, the devil did this, and all of that, to continue to keep you in that mindset. And there is no way that you think you can go out of it, because some people will be like, okay, if I leave this religion and I go to this one, it's the same thing and all of that. And some people have been moving from one religion to another, and they still find the same thing, because religion is that place where they want to keep you, to look small, to keep you. It's your limitation, that you will not be able to evolve, to live in this divine mindset. You're always looking for a savior. You're always believing in an outside God. But that God is in you, manifesting as you. Do you want to accept your true nature, or do you want to be controlled by people who come and tell you, oh, this is who you are supposed to be? That is the question we are to answer by ourselves. Right? So, there are three levels of hell. And these three levels of hell, they are just the way we think. Huh? They are just the way we think. I have shown us here the 7 types of thinking: knowledge, understanding, fear, spirit, power, counsel, and wisdom. So those three, knowledge, understanding, and fear, those are your three aspects of the mind that is being controlled by your human self. That human consciousness, the human will exists in that place. Because until you are able to transcend that human will, that's how you're going to ascend or evolve to your divine nature. You're going to be on top of things, because you need that confidence. Faith is that confidence that you need to transcend from your human nature to your divine nature. If you don't have that confidence, then you cannot transcend. And that's where all of these external influence, they come in to bring all those, their concept of Satan and all its demons and all of that, so as to keep you there. So you remain a fearful person. You're so afraid. Oh, I cannot do this. Oh, Satan do this. Oh, they tell you, oh, Illuminati is doing that. Oh, the Freemasons, they are doing this and all of that. If it was a productive or positive knowledge that they got about themselves and the world, then they will share it for everyone. But if you are doing it and you want to initiate some people to come before they know that, oh, this is what you're doing so as to control the world, that is Satanism. It's Satanism. Where you take a concept and twist it just to control people. It is all about truth, the truth of who we are. That we are not just humans. We have a higher intelligence. We have a higher being in us. That when you align, you connect with it, you become the gods that the world is waiting for to manifest, to show up. There is no God coming from the sky. None. You and me, we are the ones to change the paradigm. And that's why this year is a year of that change. And we are seeing things are moving. You see, those who introduced Satan, you see them, they are so restless because power is changing hands, as they will say in Christianity. Huh? Power is changing hands. They are restless because the more people awake to this truth, that is how they're going to lose their ground. Going to lose their hold in humanity. That is just the secret. There is nothing to pray or fast, my people. Are you serious to experience this divine nature? Are you serious to be honest with yourself, to have that confidence that Amazonia is your God-given land? Huh? That your ancestors pass it down to you, and you are not going to allow anybody to continue to desecrate that land. Are you willing to stand in confidence, in courage, and say, enough is enough? We are going to take back our land, whether you like it or not. It is not up to you to decide. Do you have that confidence? Do you have that courage? Or you just want to sit there and be so afraid? Oh, France has this. Oh, America has this. Oh, they are coming to do this. If a people stand up in truth and have a conscience that they want to do the right thing, that is all that matters. That is all that it takes to change anything in your life, in your country, and all of that. You are not afraid of what they can do to you. Huh? You are not afraid. Because if they were not Satan, why are they always running about trying to, all over the place, trying to grab this, trying to unalive this one, try coming up with all kinds of conspiracy theories? So those are the levels of hell that we're going to see. The first is what? Level one, idolatry. Huh? Yeah, I know you guys will be thinking that I'm going to talk on idolatry. Huh? What is idolatry? Fear of the unknown, which is expressed as doubt. When you don't know yourself, you don't know yourself. That is idolatry. Huh? You start to look for validation from others or from an outside deity that they presented to you, like in religion, that they tell you, oh, God is coming from the sky to save humanity on the last day. Jesus will show up. Buddha, Mohammed, all of them will do this and do that. And nobody is showing up why you need them right now. Huh? Nobody is showing up. That is idolatry, because you don't know yourself. That God that they told you that is out there is in you, as you. All He wants is for you to align, line up, connect with it, embrace it, your higher self. It sometimes shows you in the dreams, shows you things. Who comes and does that? Is it that outer God? Is it your Jesus? Is it your Buddha or Mohammed? No, it is your higher self. It comes and shows you things. But because we are so busy running the programs of this colonizer, that they brought religion and all their political systems, economic system on you, you're busy doing all of that, those programs. So your mind is not at rest, that you can hear from your inner self, your higher self. Your mind is not at rest. Oh, they tell you go pray and fast on Monday through Friday, read this scripture, memorize this, and do all of that. Those are external validations that you're looking for. It's idolatry. Look inside. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. And only by convincing yourself that you are serious to connect with it, that's how it's going to show up. That's how it's going to reveal things to you. That's how it's going to speak through you. There is no magic there, people. The desire for approval from others become your primary focus. Huh? For example, the colonizers, the West, they partitioned Africa and gave Africa a fake independence, because the independence, they never left Africa. Huh? They brought in their companies, they brought in their money, they brought in their religion, they brought in their culture, and all of that. They brought them in and put it on you, overwhelm you, so you will not be able to rise to see your worth. That's what they did. And by the way, why will people sit who have existed from time immemorial, and you are there coming now, you say you want to divide them up and you want to give them independence? You see the satanism that they sat and cooked up just to control the world. You see? You are there usurping that energy now negatively to control other humans, to make them, suffer, to make them live in fear, in doubt, and all of that, to make them not have any self-worth, don't even remember who they are. So you continue to take whatever you want, because that is what that their satanism does. And then they hire the puppets of Africa, and those African leaders, they hire those chiefs and the phones and all of them, the religious leaders, all of them, to come and submit to them. You see? Because that their satanism is about control. Control and dominance. That's all it is. Huh? So, they make you now to look up to them, like we are looking up to them now for who to come and recognize Ambazonia. Huh? Do you see that, people? That level, the first level of hell, is idolatry, where you are looking for validation from an outsider, looking for validation from our outside deity, looking for validation from, things and all of that. Now we are looking up to them for people who came and caused the division and the problems amongst us. Now we are looking up to them for validation. Oh, come and recognize us. And they're carrying their shoulders like, oh, now they are so important. But your empire has crumbled. Your empire has crumbled because the people are waking up. The world is waking up to see your true faces. The narcissistic behavior. Huh? They are saying it. People who lack empathy on other humans, they are saying it. So your empire has crumbled. That's why you're running around like a wounded lion looking for someone to devour. You cannot find anybody because people have caught your tricks. They have caught on. So those African leaders who don't know your worth and you are still acting and you think that you will survive, you are wasting your time. There is no room for you anymore. This is your last fight. That all of you are going down like a house of cards. All of you. You will not prevail. This generation, the never again generation, you will not prevail with that your arrogance. You will not prevail. Idolatry means you prioritize other things, other people, other nation over your own interests. Is that not what our chiefs and funds they are doing? That for recent, just a few days ago, we saw them go to Yaoundé to go. You prioritize your slave master, La République, over your own people. You don't see any value in your people. You don't see any value even in the land that you occupied. Nothing. All you're seeing, they gave you guys 300,000 CFA. You were expected to, some of you say, oh, we're expecting, they said they promised us 7 million CFA, and now they ended up giving you 300,000 francs. Shame on you. Shame on you. That empire has collapsed. The empire has collapsed. Okay? So it's better you jump ship and stop deceiving yourself. So, how to get out of idolatry? Acknowledge your divine sovereignty. Because the problem there, why they are twisting, distorting the truth, because they don't want you to know yourself, your self-worth, your identity, your true image. They don't want you to know that. That's why they come up with all things, all sort of strategies to keep you always busy looking for ways to survive. And that's how our people have become. Always looking for ways to survive. Oh, I will live here and I'll go to America. I'll live here, I'll travel to Europe, and then my family will. That is survival means and survival mindset. And that's what they intended. That is the intent of the Satanism cult. Yes. So, who is in charge here? You acknowledge your divine sovereignty, you cultivate a humble and a good attitude to align with truth. So it's all about the truth. That's why I keep saying it's only the truth that will set us free from this quagmire, from this nightmare, that this unlawful union with La Republique. It's only the truth. If people, more and more people will rise up and speak the truth. Even the world, in Africa, when people will rise up and stand up for the truth is your evidence, the information, all of those things are presented to you. Why are you denying it? Some of you are busy trying to go with the align with the La République in France, all of that, they have spit on your face. Pure. Lots of the flies. They don't care about you. Are you not seeing it? Huh? So, who is in charge here in this place of idolatry? In religion and some mythology, you hear of this name, Lucifer. You see, Lucifer was an angel of Satan, right? So Lucifer is in charge of rebellion. Lucifer is in charge of rebellion in that place of truth, because truth there controls your knowledge and your understanding of things. That is what truth controls. That divine nature in you, it controls that. So, or it commands or influences that. So, if you have come to a place where you are getting all the wrong information, then everything will be messed up. Your manifestation will be messed up because, like Satan, I showed you in that diagram, in that image there. Huh? Satan is holding that pitchfork, right? He's holding that pitchfork. You see that? The pitchfork. And Satan is holding it where? The beginning. That is the truth. Huh? That is the truth. So the next level is the level of impurities. Huh? Let me show you. Impurities. Yeah. For those of you who are in Christianity, you can go check that in that Galatians. We have arranged it in a chronological order. So idolatry, impurities, urges, sexual immorality, drunkenness, and debauchery. Right? So idolatry here is the first level, and impurities is the second level. In mythology, they tell you Beelzebub, or religion, they tell you Beelzebub. Mythology, they say Beelzebub is the king of flies, or the lord of flies, of the flies. I don't know. Why do you see flies when flies are gathered somewhere? Huh? It's because there is something dirty that they're trying to feed on. Huh? Something that, like a worm and all of that stuff, you know, that's why you see flies. So many flies on that. So these impurities is just the same as the place where they come to, you know, overwhelm you with all those systems and programs, institutions in your communities, in your countries, just like in your mind, because these things, they start from the mind. Everything starts from within, and then you carry them out, you manifest them out, you execute them out. Yeah. So it starts from the mind. So in the mind, you have this place of understanding. Understanding, the ability of understanding is to help you um, differentiate or separate your thought, the right one from the wrong one, the good one from the bad one, the true from the false. So you see how it is evolving. But then when you get here where from the truth, the knowledge, they have given you the wrong knowledge. Huh? And now they have to reinforce that knowledge. So you stay in that knowledge, that wrong information that they gave you, that negative knowledge or information that they gave you, they want you to stay in that, and they'll continue to maintain it. And you see how these people have done for centuries, that they have maintained this status quo, this paradigm, generation to generation, because they have the institutions that they send their children to go train, to go learn and know all of this. But Africa, where are we? Where are we? We took our own spirituality and threw away. I heard one pastor was saying, "Oh, when the white man came and they brought in Christianity, it's because our spirituality, or the African spirituality, was so brutal and all of that. So they could not." You see, people looking for validation. You don't know your own value. You don't know your self-worth. You don't know your own self-esteem. Eh? Your perception is all blinded, that you see but somebody as a foreigner with their own foreign gods. You threw your own away and embrace theirs. And you say, "Oh, the white man, the God was the one and religion that made us to calm us down." They calm us down today. Where are you? You don't have roads. You don't have hospitals. You don't have nothing. But when you're sick, you run and come to Europe and America. And that's the white man's way, that he brought the religion to you. 2025 is time to wake up. Huh? No more seeing yourself as small. You short sell yourself. No more of that. Today, it is proven that the West cannot survive without the African continent. Do you see that? So why are you selling yourself short? They cannot survive. They don't want to come the right way because they are all Satan. That's Satan that they twisted like that. They don't want to come the right way, so they go to hire foolish same Africans who don't know their left from their right. Huh? Become terrorists to terrorize your own people. They're going to wipe all of you out. We are not going to tolerate those lots of the flies. We're going to finish those flies who continue to invade our land. Okay? In Amazonia, we'll continue to finish those flies who continue to invade our land to destabilize Amazonia. We have said and made it clear that we are not one and indivisible people. We are separate entities and we need to go our separate ways. If it's too hard for you to understand, then they say flower no the hear shit. Huh? It go hear bam. Okay? Yeah. So the impurities there, when they bring all of these beliefs, these ideas flooding your mind, right? You cannot separate them. They continue to overwhelm you, and you stay there and you are confused and you're looking for ways to survive. That is what has happened. So, for example, many people have a strong belief because this place of impurities, as I said, that's where they bring all those their beliefs there. It's a place of belief. If you cannot differentiate or sort out what belief is right and good and healthy for you, then you stay there and they will control you. Huh? They will control you. So, take for example, many people have a strong belief that God exists in the sky. But I say here unapologetically that God lives in you as you. Go read your Bibles, read your Quran, read your any of your religious book. It is stated there. I'm not making this up. Okay? It's just that your religion, because they want to preach to you what you're supposed to hear and what they have designed, that's what they give you, and so you can believe that. Huh? They say what? Belief is an idea one accepts as being true or real. You see that? So we have believed these people for over the years. Our ancestors believed them and they died miserably. All of that. This generation says, no, we're done with that, your belief. It does not work. It comes to control and dominate us. They use patterns and beliefs to control people. Huh? So those who understand these patterns, then you will see, you can tell what is their next move. Huh? That's why the three Sahel, they have understood these patterns, what they do. Because the devil or Satan and those who are practicing Satanism, they will never change. They will never change. They will never change their pattern. It's the same thing. That is the pattern. Impurities, there are patterns that people, negative influence on people. Huh? Programs, institutions, systems that are designed to keep and control people. That is where you find those impurities. Just like the West and some puppets in Africa believe that democracy is good for the world. Huh? Is democracy good? The demon crazy. Because it's a demonic concept. Because Satan has demons. And those are the demons I'm reading. Beelzebub is one of them that controls that place of impurities to bring up all of these systems and beliefs to keep you bound. Those are your limitations. So you can't evolve. So when people try to come out, say, oh no, I am sovereign. Why am I being controlled by somebody? And then they come out now, they start to sponsor terrorists and do all of that. They will come up with all sort of things, but it's the same pattern. They don't have nothing new. It's the same pattern because that is how that thought, particular thought, that is how it thinks. It starts from within. So they cannot change anything new. So it is for us to understand these patterns, these their systems, and then you know how to deal with it. Huh? They use repeated strategies to manipulate the sovereignty and independence of an individual or a nation. You see that? This is where manipulation exists. And this level is controlled by Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies. I already explained to us. So, how to outsmart a manipulator? How do you outsmart a manipulator? One, by understanding the techniques, the strategies, the structures, the institutions, the programs of a manipulator. Then focus on the facts and truth to find clarity. If you don't understand something, ask, why is this policy like this? Why does this contract says this and then we're doing something else? Ask the question so you can have clarity, clear understanding. But you see, our politicians, the puppet leaders of Africa, they are busy just collecting handouts. They don't make use of their minds. So they see us as a mentally bankrupt people. So the few that have come and are waking to start using their mind, they say, oh, how dare you? So if you were so important and supreme, why don't you stay in your continent and do those things that will move the world forward? Why are you trying to subjugate people, subjugate nations, do all evil things just to control and dominate? It means Satan has no what? That your version of Satan is just a destructive mindset. It's a destructive mindset. It has nothing to offer to humanity other than destruction. And history has proven that Europe and America, they have been busy fighting wars and wars and wars and wars. Huh? Nothing to give to humanity. They don't want peace. They don't want nothing. Build weapons of mass destruction to go and be unaliving people. That is what they find joy. The narcissistic behavior. That is who they are. They lack empathy on the human race. That is what that your version of Satan is all about. So you understand the techniques and the facts that are presented to you, look for the truth and have clarity. That's how you can conquer or outsmart a manipulator. The third level of hell is orgies, or orgy, an instant of excessive indulgence in a specific activity. You see that unrestrained negative activity or behavior. Don't we see this? La Republique has been there from the day that we entered that fake union. All they have been doing is to unalive our people. Anybody who wants to speak up, they unalive you, throw you in jail, do all sort of things, maim you and all of that. That is the same thing that they have been doing. They learned it from their master, and they are doing that, implementing that. Huh? That is hell. And you think that you are in what place because you can afford a car, you can afford a good house and all of that. But look at your road network, look at your hospital, your healthcare system, look at the unemployment in your country, look at all the difficulties that the people, the majority of your population, the youth are out there on the street. Does that make you any different? You are in hell and you are a servant of Satan. You are a servant of Satan. Because all you do is to continue to control people, deceiving them. The chiefs, again, you are called them to Yaoundé. The fonts, you call them to Yaoundé. Is it not the same thing you have been doing from the day in 1961? It's the same thing. Do you guys see the pattern? They don't change. It's the same thing. So there is nothing new under the sun, under the sky. It's the same pattern. So you have to understand the mental process of how things work. That's how you're going to get out of this nightmare. They lack empathy, they are narcissistic, they use deception. Huh? They use deception, deliberately causing someone to believe something that is not true. Deception in religion, deception in politics, deception in your tradition, deception everywhere. Huh? Your religion, where they come and tell you, oh, God is an external being, or you need a mediator between you and God. You need a middleman between you and God. You need to pray fast and all of that between. But the people who introduce that concept of an external God, they don't do all of that. So what you are doing, you are that agent, that servant of that Satanism, that Satan deceiving your people. That's what you are doing. And your people cannot find any self-worth, no self-value, no self-esteem. Their image has just been tarnished because they don't see themselves. They always know that there is somebody standing between them and that God. So they don't have confidence in themselves where they can make decisions, where they can stand up to fight for their right, something that inherently belongs to them. They can't make that decision because of all these beliefs that has, eaten up their minds. So they are reduced to beggars. They are reduced to handouts. People, oh, I want to become a president. Oh, you will go and bend and rig election to remain in power for 40 years plus, and no change is going on in your country. Nothing. You decide to please an outsider, a foreigner, who comes and takes and steals your resources to go and reach their own citizen. You decide to please that, and you're impoverishing your own people, making your people to suffer, to beg, to die, huh? To die premature death because you want to please Satan, the devil, that version of Satan that they brought to you. But how do you conquer your ego? Because this place is the place of ego, the urges. And who is there? Your Bible says Jezebel. Jezebel is the queen of dominance, is the queen of control and dominance. Do you see that? But then there is a healthy ego we talked about last week. That ego where you change things for the good. You change your own self perception, your own look, your everything from inside out. That is a good ego. But the unhealthy ego is where you have these narcissistic individuals who don't have empathy on other people. They don't care what they kill or what they destroy, all of that. All they want is their own interest. That is all they want. And then when they're doing that, they think that they are supreme. You are in hell. That is hell. The third level of hell. That is hell. Your arrogance. Huh? But how do you conquer that ego? You ask clarifying questions. You hear Dr. Mungwa always release audios. He says clarity in crisis. Huh? You ask questions to clarify things, to have a clear picture of what you are dealing with. You are confident, you have that self esteem that no one can trample on you. No one can tell you otherwise. The Africans that they used to laugh in the past, today their bread basket is taken away from them, and you see them running around like a mouse chasing its tail. Huh? The Africans that they used to laugh at, oh, look at these monkeys. Do you live in the trees? All of that. But you are there creating all sort of unrest just to get our resources. It's a shame to our leaders who took this position in calling that they were going to serve their people, but now you became a people pleaser, pleasing the foreigner over your own people. It's a shame to you. You need to resign, and every African country that you have those kind of leaders, your youth and the people should rise up and bring them down. Enough of this shit that we have been eating from you. Enough. Enough. Lords of the flies, get out. We don't want you anymore in our land, in our continent. We don't want you. Let truth rise. Let conscience rise. Let righteousness rise. Let justice rise. So we can have a people who know their own worth. Huh? So, whatever that in these three levels you find yourself, that your behavior, your thought pattern is just like these three levels that I have described, because it's all about the thought process, your pattern. You can change that. You can rise because you have fallen. So, no matter your fall, how deep you have fallen, you can rise. Yes, you can rise again to be that person who has a conscience, that person who can do the right thing and bring justice, that person who sees every human being as created equal, that they deserve all the good that is in their land and in this world, not to be trampled upon, but to be respected and give them their own fair share. That is what we are thriving, and that is what we are fighting. That Amazonia will rise up again and be a people who respect each other, a people who give everyone their own fair share in society, not a people who will be begging from generation to generation. This generation is a never again generation, and we are here to declare that. So it is time to rise up, get out the West, get out of your unhealthy ego. The East, wherever you are, those for in Islam, those Arab nations, get out. We're hearing what is happening to in Sudan, how this the UAE, huh? Where you cause all the wars there just to steal their gold, and you claim that your land is so, oh, we created this beautiful land in the desert. From the beginning I came to realize that I said that land like that is the stolen gold from Africa, that you people are building that your land, and it has proven today. So Africa, it's time to rise up and take your rightful position in the global stage. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye. Director Party, I'm done. Maybe they fell asleep. Mm. Where is Director Body? You guys have abandoned me here. Okay, guys, let me call.